Hello everyone. Welcome to our lesson on basic operations and order of operations. I'm Teacher Bob, and today we're going to delve into essential math skills that will not only help you in your classes but also prepare you for the SAT or the ACT tests. So let's get started. First, let's review the four basic operations. When we're talking about operations, we're referring to addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And addition is just combining numbers. And that would be very simply something like 7 plus 5 is equal to 12. And secondly, we have subtraction. And that's an operation that involves taking one number away from another. So taking away, and I'm sure this is really elementary review for you, so we'll just spend a moment on this. And this might be something like 10 subtract 6 is equal to 4, and multiplication. And multiplication, this can be seen as repeated addition. And an example of this might be, 6 times 3 is equal to 18. And finally, division. And in division, this just represents an operation that splits a number into equal parts. So let's just say equal parts. And an example of this might be 24 divided by 6 is equal to 4. And we're going to add to the basic 4. We're going to add exponents as well. And exponents represent repeated multiplication. I hope you can see it, and that might mean something like 2 squared or to the power of 2, and that's equal to 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. Okay, so very basic stuff here. Understanding these operations is crucial, especially when we apply the order of operations, which we're going to take a look at now. This ensures that we solve problems accurately, particularly for standardized tests like the SAT and the ACT. Okay, so let's move on here, and we're going to talk about order of operations. So we often use acronyms when talking about this. We're talking about all the operations that we've mentioned, and when we have a complex expression and we have more than one operation, we need to do them in a specific order of operations in order to get correct answers. Now, there's three very common acronyms, and an acronym is simply a word where every letter means something or stands for something. And these acronyms for order of operations just tell us the order in which we're going to do these operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and exponents. So one very popular acronym is one that's called PEMDAS. And PEMDAS simply means parentheses, exponents or powers, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Now, the one thing I want to point out about these is that multiplication and division and addition and subtraction, each of those pairs may be done or calculated in whatever order you first find them in. So for multiplication and division, it can be in the order of multiplication and division, or it can be division and multiplication, but they have to be done, both of them, after the parentheses, exponents or powers follows, then multiplication and division, then follows addition and subtraction, or subtraction and addition. And these circle pairs, we just simply do those those operations in order from left to right. Okay, so another acronym is BODMAS. And instead of parentheses, the B in this case means brackets. So we're treating parentheses and brackets the same here. So parentheses looks like this. Technically, brackets look like this. Looks like the end pieces of parts of a box. But for our order of operations, we're using them interchangeably, and even calling parentheses brackets. Then O is orders, then division and multiplication, addition and subtraction. So the orders is referring to the exponents. Okay, so the rest is the same. You treat multiplication and division and addition and subtraction just as you would with PEMDAS. And you can see that in BODMAS, the division and multiplication are reversed in order. It doesn't matter, just do either of those from left to right. And one other acronym that is used on occasion is BEDMAS. And in this case, the B is for brackets, E is for exponents, then we have division and multiplication, and addition and subtraction. So they all give you the same order to do our different operations in. Choose whatever acronym it is that you're most comfortable with. Different teachers teach different ones. I've seen different teachers teach the PEMDAS, and some teach BODMAS and some teach BEDMAS. I like to make sure that my students are aware of all of them, and you just pick whichever one you like the best. Okay, so again, these acronyms help us to understand the sequence in which we perform mathematical operations. Okay, so let's tackle an example that includes all of the operations. And I'm going to use PEMDAS, but you can use, like I say, whatever acronym you choose to use. They'll all work just as well. Okay, so if we have the example 2 plus 3 times the quantity 4 squared subtract 6 divided by 2 subtract 5. Okay, so we're going to follow the steps for PEMDAS. Just going to write it over here to the left. That'll just help us to make sure we check off our operations as we go through them in order. And the first one we have to look for is parentheses. Well, we have a set of parentheses here. If you're using one of the other acronyms, you're going to call it brackets. Brackets and parentheses in our case are just going to mean the same thing. Everything inside needs to be treated as one number. So we're going to multiply. We have to multiply out the power here first of all, because we want to get one number for inside of the parentheses. So in this case we do have to do the exponent here first. So this is going to be 4 to the power of 2, or squared, or to the exponent 2. So that means 4 times 4, that's 16. Then it subtracts 6. So now what we're left with is 2 plus 3 times 16 subtract 6 is 10. So that's what's inside this parentheses. So we can replace that with 10 divided by 2, then subtract 5. Okay, so parentheses is done. There are no more exponents. These two we had to work with inside of the parentheses. Okay, multiplication and division, I like to circle those, and addition and subtraction. Just to remind me that it doesn't matter which one of these comes first. We're just going to work on these. Multiplication and division from left to right, and leaving addition and subtraction for our final step. So we've got addition here. No, that doesn't work. We've got multiplication here. Then we've got division here. Okay, so we're going to do the multiplication first, followed by the division. So we've got 2 plus, and 3 times 10 is 30. Then we're left with divide by 2, subtract 5. Now we have no more multiplication, so the multiplication is done. Division is next, and we have one operation here with division, so it's going to be 2 plus 30 divided by 2 is 15. Subtract 5. Then our final operations are addition and subtraction. Does not matter which comes first, but we do them from left to right. So we're going to have addition first in this case. So 2 plus 15 is 17. And then we've got subtract 5. And then we finally have a subtraction here, which is the last operation of our PEMDAS here. So subtract 5 is going to give us a final answer of 12. And there we have it. So the answer is 12. This type of problem is exactly what you might see on a SAT or an ACT test. Okay, so let's explore some word problems that require us to apply the order of operations. That might be common on a standardized test. So I am going to erase this. I'm going to leave the PEMDAS up here. Now remember, you've got total control over these videos, so you can always stop the video to write down notes. I do strongly suggest that you write notes as you're going through this course. You can come back to the video later if that's your style of learning. So let's take a look at a word problem. So we have someone named Maria, and she has 3 times as many apples as John. If John has 4 apples and she gives 2 apples to her friend, how many apples does Maria now have? So she gives 2 apples. Okay, so I'm really shortening up this question in words here, so I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so how many, we got to figure out, first of all, how many apples does Maria originally have? Well, Maria has 3 times as many apples as John. And if John has 4 apples, then Maria has 3 times 4, doesn't she? And that's equal to 12 apples. And then we're going to subtract the apples that she gives away. Well, it says, we're told she gives away 2 apples, so it's going to be 12 subtract 2. So Maria has 10 apples left. Okay, that's a really simple question. Okay, let's try another one here, a little bit more complex. So let me erase this. Remember, if you're wanting to write any of this down in your notes, you can pause the video. You're in control. So, problem 2. We've got a store that sells notebooks for $2 each and pens for $1 each. Question is, if you buy 5 notebooks, I'm just going to write it down as NB, and 3 pens, how much are you going to spend in total? Well, we're going to, of course, we've got 5 notebooks, and each of them are $2 each, so 5 times 2 is 10, and 3 pens at $1 each, $3. Okay, the 2 amounts, we're just going to add them together. 10 plus 3 is equal to $13 total. Okay, now it's your turn. I've got some questions here on the board. I want you to pause the video. These are problems similar to those you might encounter on the SAT or the ACT. Solve these problems and then resume the video and we'll go over them. So do that now and we'll see you when you're ready. Welcome back. Let's go through these questions together. Okay, question 1 asks, what is 7 plus 4 times the sum of 3 plus 5 subtract 6 divided by 2? So I'm going to use PEMDAS, and as I've mentioned, you use the acronym that we've gone over that you're most comfortable with. And I like to remind students that it's not a bad idea to circle your multiplication and division and your addition and subtraction, just to remind you that these work in pairs, and they're from left to right. Well, PEMDAS, the first letter is parentheses. Let's check that. Yes, we do have a part of this question that is contained within parentheses, 3 plus 5. So that's 8, and we're done with parentheses. There's no exponents, so we can check that off. Then we have multiplication and division from left to right. Well, going from the left, we've got multiplication here. So 4 times 8 is 32. Then we have 6 divided by 2 over here, which is 3. Then we've got these two done, and then addition and subtraction from left to right. So we've got 7 plus 32 is 39. Then 39 subtract 3 is 36. So that's the answer, 36, using order of operations for this expression here. Make sure that you follow something like these acronyms if you need to, in order to make sure you do the operations in the right order. Okay, let's look at number 2. What is 2 cubed, or taken to the third power, or exponent 3 plus 3 times the difference of 5 subtract 1? Okay, in order, we need to do parentheses first. So we have 5 subtract 1 is 4 over here. Now, maybe you're writing this down on a piece of paper and going through this one line at a time, and that's fine as well. The more comfortable you get with this, you can probably combine this and do this in more quicker methods. I'm doing it like this and talking about the order just because I've got limited space here to work with. So parentheses, then the next one is exponents. So 2 to the exponent 3, or power of 3, means 2 times 2 times 2. It's not 2 times 3. Don't do that. This is just repeated multiplication, as we explained it was earlier. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So this becomes 8. So exponents are done. Then multiplication and division. We have multiplication and division here. So 3 times 4 becomes 12. Now we've got addition and subtraction, and we've only got addition here. So we're going to add the 8 plus the 12. So our answer is going to be 20. That's the answer for number 2. Number 3. So we want to do parentheses first, and we have parentheses, so 2 plus 5 is 7. Done. Exponents, we have an exponent over here, 4 to the exponent 2, or power of 2, or squared. That means 4 times 4, so this becomes a 16. Exponents are done. Then we have multiplication and division. Well, we've got one multiplication here. So that's 3 times 7. So that gives us 21. Okay, then we have, out of addition and subtraction, we have subtraction, and that's going to be 21 subtract 16, which gives us the answer of 5. Simple as that. Okay, and the final question is a word problem. A recipe requires 2 cups of flour. Okay, we're going to change this to sugar. A recipe requires 2 cups of sugar. If you want to make 3 batches and then use 1 cup for another recipe, how much sugar do you have left? So we want to know, how much sugar do you need to make 3 batches plus have an extra cup left of sugar? Well, each recipe requires 2 cups. you're going to, that'll be 3 times 2 is 6, and you want 1 left over, so you need 7. Then you make 1 batch, so 7 subtract 2 is going to give you 5 left over. You can write that like this if you like to. Okay, so 2 times 3, subtract 1 is equal to 5. That's a wrap for our first lesson in this series. Great work today, everyone. If you have any questions about what we've covered, feel free to revisit this video. Don't forget to try the worksheet questions for additional practice and reach out if you need help. Remember, mastering these concepts is essential for your success on the PSAT and the ACT entrance exams. I'm here to help you every step of the way. See you in the next lesson. Bye for now.